Since 1994, the state of Texas has been evaluating schools and districts and assigning accountability ratings based on a variety of performance indicators. This year, a completely redesigned accountability system was introduced, and we wanted to share some of the highlights of that new system with you. Under the previous accountability system, results for each specific performance measure were examined, and a school's rating depended on meeting every single indicator. Now the new system combines several measures and calculates an overall score, and a campus only has to meet a single target score. This type of system is known as a performance index, and this is the first time that the state has ever used this type of framework to evaluate school performance and assign ratings. There are 4 indices in the new accountability system. Index 1 is student achievement. This index basically adds all tests together in every subject and every grade and calculates a single overall passing rate. Index 2 is student progress. This index compares each student's test score from last year to their score from this year and does a calculation to see if the student met or even exceeded the academic growth that was expected. Schools get index points for each student who met growth expectations and extra points for students who exceeded growth expectations, regardless of whether they passed the STAR test or not. This progress calculation is only available in grades 4 through 10, reading and math, and grade 10, writing. Index 3 is closing achievement gaps. This index looks at STAR passing rates for economically disadvantaged students and up to 2 more of the lowest performing student groups at each campus. All 5 subject areas are included in the calculation, and the ultimate goal is to help these students reach Level 3 advanced performance. Index 4 is post-secondary readiness. This year, only high schools received a score on this index. Those scores were based on graduation rates or dropout rates if the school didn't have a graduating class, and the percent of students who graduated on either the recommended or distinguished diploma plan. If a district or campus met the target scores that the Texas Education Agency set for each performance index, they received a rating of Met Standard. If they missed even one target score, they received a rating of Improvement Required. I'm happy to report that Round Rock ISD received a rating of Met Standard, and every school in our district received a Met Standard rating as well. Let's take just a moment to look at the district's performance. Here's how Round Rock ISD scored compared to the state's targets for each index, which are shown by the black lines on each bar. On top of receiving an accountability rating, schools across the state could receive extra recognition for outstanding performance. These additional recognitions are called distinction designations, and every school that was rated Met Standard was eligible to receive one or more of these distinctions. Distinction designations are available in the following areas: top 25% in student progress, academic achievement in math, and academic achievement in reading. Whether or not a school is awarded a distinction designation depends on how their students performed compared to 40 other schools across the state that were identified as being the most similar to them in terms of enrollment, percentage of economically disadvantaged students, percentage of English language learners, and percentage of mobility. In Round Rock, 31 of our schools received at least one distinction designation, meaning they were in the top 25% in the distinction category among those 40 schools that were most similar to them. And 13 of our schools received all 3 distinction designations. That's 27% of our schools compared to only 9% of schools across the state. Overall, our schools received 65 distinctions. The final piece of the state's new accountability system is something called the system safeguards. Since the performance index framework sort of combines performance across grades, subjects, and student groups and calculates an average overall score, the state wanted to make sure that students who might be struggling still received the attention that they need from campus and district administrators. The system safeguards break out passing rates, graduation rates, and participation rates by student group, and every district and campus must meet specific targets for each measure. Although poor performance in one subject or student group doesn't impact the campus or district rating, it must be addressed in the campus improvement plan. 30 of the schools in Round Rock ISD met every system safeguard measure. This is just an overview of the basics of the new accountability system. There are many more details in the construction and calculation of the performance indexes. If you'd like more information on how schools and districts are held accountable, you can visit TEA's website or you can contact me with specific questions. Thanks.